This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, a neighbor's complaint leads to county demands that an Ellenton couple either tear down their child's playhouse or make some drastic changes to meet county code.
The couple says the county gave them the go-ahead to build the playground back in April, saying they did not need a permit. But now that a complaint was filed, the county is saying otherwise. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from that child's playhouse in Ellenton with more on this story. Jess?
Jacqueline, Scott, the playhouse was put up just a couple of months ago, and when the parents built it, they were hoping that it would be a happy place for their daughter to play. But that happy house in recent weeks has turned into more of a frustration for the parents.
We did everything that we were supposed to do before building this playhouse for our daughter.
3-year-old Layla is the queen of her backyard castle. Her parents, Lauren and Jason, built the playhouse after getting verbal permission from the county.
At least a good $5,000 went into getting the materials. That doesn't include labor.
But days later, a neighbor complained. The formal complaint to Manatee County says, in part, quote, "This playhouse has not been permitted and is a hazard from wind in a hurricane. I am a state licensed contractor and am very concerned about the installation methods." That neighbor declined to comment on camera today, but Lauren Prisbala says he's since moved to Georgia.
We hired a structural engineer who came out and evaluated the playhouse, and he wrote a detailed report on the structural soundness of this playhouse.
Neighbor Mike Rosick, who lives closer to the playhouse than the Prisbalas do, backs up that claim.
It's really stout. If a hurricane came through here, that would stand and everything else would be gone.
Rosick loves the playhouse.
My front window is right there, and I don't have a problem with it, and I helped him put it up. I think it's a darn nice tree house for his daughter.
The complaint also said, quote, "In short, there is no protection from neighborhood kids climbing on this. It's like a pool without a fence. This rope protects the property, but there's not an actual fence." Manatee County tells the Prisbalas that their issue with the structure is that the playhouse doesn't meet code. They say it can't be built on a vacant lot, which is next to their home, the family owning both properties. The family now has 3 options: tear down the playhouse, move the playhouse to the same lot that their house is on, or unify the lots.
Unfortunately, making that decision would mean our flood insurance is going to go up at least $2,000 a year.
The Prisbalas feel since it was the county's error, the playhouse should be allowed to remain as is.
The fact that it's a zoning issue and the neighbors that complained aren't even here, it really should be a non-issue at this point.
I talked to a representative from Manatee County on the phone just a few minutes ago. He denies that the county ever gave the family a go-ahead to go and build that playhouse. He says if they don't comply, that this case will go in front of a county magistrate sometime after January. Reporting live in Ellenton, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you so much. After an environmental inspection at Lakewood Ranch High School, the Manatee County School District deciding to repair other parts of the campus due to mold. District officials hiring a consulting firm, which produced a 93-page report. The district's main concern at this point is to clean up more than 20 portables on campus. Deputy Superintendent of Business and Services, Ron Serrana, says work will begin next week with a budget of about $350,000.
And we did a complete assessment of the entire campus too when we did, but the portables are the ones that we're going to identify now and do the remediation work on. The rest of the campus is really a total remediation. Does not have to be done. It's just routine maintenance.
The district hopes work can be completed on those portables by the end of the winter break, but says there is a chance it may take a little bit longer.
The largest pool on the continent is expected to be constructed right here on the Suncoast. A new development called Sunseeker near the Punta Gorda Airport is expected to break ground by the spring. Officials hope to have it built on the 4900 block of Tamiami Trail, but are still working on closing a few deals with landowners. Allegiant Air is in charge of that project, and it's slated to cover 20 acres of land. It's expected to be made up of 9 towers, restaurants, bars, a grocery store, pharmacy, and a marina. Another major draw, a pool expected to be the largest in North America. Well, if you were hoping to take part in the proposed half marathon on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge on New Year's Day, you'll have to wait at least another year. The event organizer tells us that the race, which was tentatively scheduled to take place on January 1st, will not take place this year because of delays in the approval process. Organizers hoped to close I-275 southbound from the Pinellas Bayway to US 19 in Palmetto for at least 3 hours. They say that date is the slowest day for the bridge. The race is now rescheduled for New Year's Day of 2019.
More time to train for it, right?
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
Let's get a check on our weather today. Another warm one here on the Sun Coast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
That's right, and another big race coming up here locally at Lakewood Ranch is the Jingle 5K run at Lakewood Ranch. It happens Friday, always well attended, Friday the 22nd of this month. Well, we had some fog around, some low clouds earlier today that were around that kind of burn off. We saw partly cloudy conditions throughout most of the day, and now generally sunny skies as the sun is setting, and calm conditions out there on the water, so pretty nice as far as the Van Wezel webcam goes. And right now it's 78 degrees. Dew point is at 64. Winds are out of the northeast at 7, and the pressure 30-13. That's still way up there. And that has been the dominating weather feature of our weather over the weekend. It was nice, and looks as though we will see pretty good weather for the first part of this work week. And then things really start to change here along the Sun Coast. I know you all heard about it or seen it on your phone. Well, I'll tell you, we are going to see some cooler weather move in. Right now, there's still some little factors we have to clear up as far as how cold it's going to get. But temperatures will definitely get down into the 40s, and we will see highs only in the 60s over the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday time frame. We'll have more on that. A few showers now taking place along the East Coast and interior portions of our viewing area. More in the forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. If you plan to park for more than 3 hours in one of the parking garages in downtown Sarasota, expect to dish out a few bucks. The city owns garages on Palm Avenue and this one on State Street. Parking manager Mark Lyons decided to implement paid parking, and right now you cannot legally park longer than 3 hours. But if you want to stay longer, you'll have to pay $3 for the 4th hour and $1 per hour after that, which can total at least $23 a day. Downtown workers already have to pay a reduced fee to park, and they don't like that either.
I don't really want to go to work to make money to pay to park in a garage.
What if they give you a discount of some sort?
No, it still doesn't make a difference. I mean, right now you have to go get a parking pass and you have to pay $20 every 3 months just to park up there so that you don't get a ticket. And I've already gotten 3 tickets because I don't really want to spend 20 bucks every couple months to be able to park to go to work every day.
Now, this is all happening now because guests of the hotel adjacent to the Palm Avenue garage will be using the city facility starting next year, and they'll be parking overnight in that garage.
Legislation is filed in Tallahassee to make texting while driving a primary offense in Florida, and one father is traveling the state to warn students about the dangers of distracted driving. Demetrius Branca's son, Anthony, was killed 3 years ago when the motorcycle he was driving was run over by a van whose driver was not paying attention to the road. Branca says nearly all of today's teens have cell phones as part of their daily lives, with no law stopping them from texting while driving. Unfortunately, many don't see the problem until it's too late.
It's really common sense, and I think once people recognize the dangers of distracted driving, there's no hesitation about what's the right thing to do, which is to put your phone down. And hopefully the Florida legislature this year will pass a bill that's not a toothless, weak excuse for a bill.
Florida is one of only 5 states where texting and driving is not a primary violation. This year's legislation has passed one of 4 Senate committee stops ahead of the 2018 session. It must pass all committees before a vote can be taken by the full chamber. This week kicks off Older Driver Safety Awareness Week. This driver improvement program was created by AAA for those 55 and older. It reminds older drivers that with age often comes new and unexpected driving challenges.
Your vision changes. How do you adjust your driving habits to your vision? Your mobility changes. How do you adjust your mirrors so you can see better, as you're driving on the interstates? Your reaction time, what can you do? If you're in an emergency situation, what do you do as a mature driver?
For more information and to get registered for a class, just contact your local AAA office or head online to AAA.com.
Well, ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joining us now. Richard, quite a wild day on Wall Street today.
Jacqueline, absolutely. I felt like I was in Orlando on Mr. Toad's wild ride. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up by more than 300 points early this morning. That a reaction to the Senate passing the tax bill very early on Saturday morning. But little by little, that 300-point gain disappeared. In fact, we lost 250 of those 300 points, and ironically still finished with a record high for the Dow. The Nasdaq, certainly not the case. Tech stocks were hit very hard, and the S&P 500 down as well. A mixed Monday. Let's take a look at the numbers, and they certainly don't look like they did when I was here at noontime. Dow Jones Industrials, 24,290.05, a gain of 58.5 points, 1/4% on volume of 741 million shares. The Nasdaq for the day down more than 1% despite a Dow record, down 72 points, closing at 6,775.37. That on volume of 1,606 million shares. The S&P, the best overall measure of the market, down 0.1%, just under 3 points at 2,639.44. Well, the healthcare world is changing. The landscape is changing. Today, there was an announcement that CVS, as in the drugstore chain, is buying Aetna, the insurance company, for $69 billion with a B. $69 billion. The two companies combined believe they can significantly lower the cost of health care to those of us who are obviously consuming their expertise. Time will tell. Obviously, this does require approval by the United States government in terms of antitrust. Many people think that will be a problem. We'll have to find out. But if it does go through, everyone believes it should be done by the third quarter of 2018, next year.
And Richard, I understand it was a tough day for Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon hasn't had too many tough days, but a lot of people thought that Amazon is trying to get into the pharmaceutical business. And now if they, in fact, go forward with that, and they certainly could, they're going to have a very, very strong rival in a company called CVS and Aetna. It's not going to be just their only game in town, but don't go against Amazon. They certainly do know what they're doing.
They do, for sure. Richard, thanks so much for the update.
You are welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a Florida man appears in court accused of leaving the state with a teenage girl. Officials believe the girl and her soccer coach were involved in a relationship.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. And it's a newly identified fear, nomophobia, and experts say you may be dealing with it. Details when we come back.
The ABC7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac. Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. It's a special election day as a pair of Democrats face off in a local primary race.
We'll tell you why the winner will have more competition to fill a seat vacated by Alex Miller earlier this year. Tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
So we're watching changing weather coming our way by the end of the week. We'll have those details.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Naomi, my California closet designer, has been my partner in crime. She was genuinely fun to work with. We have had a ball collaborating on the 8 units that we have done in our home. The closets in the house are great, but the den is what everyone comments on when they walk in the house. And it's so beautiful. They say, whoa, who did that? And I said, it's California Closets. My name is Melissa, and this is my California Closet story.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, call the Rely On Group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
The perfect musical for the holidays is live on the Players Center stage. Packed with the big band sounds from World War II, the 1940s Radio Hour is our boogie woogie bugle boy answer to the holiday blues. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. The Players Wild Broadway series wishes you a Merry Christmas with the 1940s Radio Hour.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
After a 5-day manhunt, the 17-year-old North Florida girl who went missing with her former soccer coach was found safe in upstate New York. Now that coach is facing his first day in court as new clues are unraveling as to where the two were headed and the secret relationship they kept hidden from family and friends. ABC's Maggie Rulli has more.
The soccer coach accused of running away with a student from the high school where he worked will now be sent back to Florida to face his fate.
He's going to be held in custody for the next 2 weeks for Florida authorities to come pick him up.
Police in New York took 27-year-old Rian Rodriguez into custody on Friday after catching him in a car with missing 17-year-old Caitlin Frazina. The high school senior's family now rejoicing to finally have her home.
We are so thankful and blessed to have our beautiful daughter, Caitlin Morgan Frazina, back with us.
Now new details. According to a police affidavit, friends of the teenager say she told them she hooked up with Rodriguez and that he wanted her to leave the country with him, but she didn't know how to get out of it. The document also stating that Frazina's school told police it handled a rumor that Caitlin and Rian were in a relationship in August, but concluded it to be false after the person who reported it took it back. Frazina disappeared last Sunday, and she and Rodriguez were last spotted a day later at various gas stations and even a pawn shop along the East Coast. Then on Friday, more than 1,000 miles away from her hometown, police caught up with them during a traffic stop in upstate New York, about 165 miles away from the Canadian border.
I'm glad to have my daughter back where I know I can protect her and keep her safe, as a father always wants to do.
Caitlin's family says they're now seeking counseling to help them through these tough times. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Florida lawmakers are working on making it easier to evacuate the state in the event of an emergency. A state House committee is expected to discuss a long series of recommendations submitted by legislators after Hurricane Irma. One Republican is recommending extending the Suncoast Parkway from Citrus County north to the Georgia state line to help with evacuations. They're also discussing creating fuel farms and leasing a cruise ship to help with evacuations from the Florida Keys. They'll also talk about tax breaks for homes that were damaged by the storm. We always learn something from these big events. You know, Hurricane Andrew, the building codes changed statewide. So.
Right. Lots of things to learn, too, I'm sure, going forward in the future. And I already got a request to do a hurricane seminar for May 4th and 5th of 2018. Wow. So, yeah, it's already happening back in not too far off from the season starting once again. Beautiful weekend. We saw nice warm temperatures. It was warm, mid-80s for highs. We are going to see some slightly cooler air move in. KCK webcam showing a little fog around, a little low clouds, if you will, and then mid-level clouds streaming in from the Gulf. And looks as though we will see mostly fair skies overnight. Not much of a chance for fog. It'll be patchy at best, I believe, to start things off on our Tuesday, and it will be a warm one, too. Temperatures are going to stay warm. Look at this great photo, too, of the super moon over the Van Wezel. Dylan John Wade Cox getting this one, and that certainly is super as it was getting ready to set there just before sunrise. Now, a Titan radar picture showing a little bit of activity over parts of Texas, stretching up toward Arkansas and into Illinois and even Indiana. A few showers there. That's the storm system gathering right now. It's going to take its time. There will be another area of low pressure that will develop behind this one and eventually sweep a strong front our way. Right now, some light rain showers occurring over the Bahamas, and it looks like not much of a chance of that making it all the way over to the coast. There's a chance for a few sprinkles, if you will, into Hardy, DeSoto, and Highlands County over the next hour or so. Currently, it's 78 and the dew point 64. Winds out of the north-northeast at 7. And the pressure continues to stay fairly high at 30-13. Temperatures into the mid-70s now on Holmes Beach, all the way down to Longboat Key at 74. 78 in Palm Air now, and 77 to Waterleaf, and 78 degrees. Laurel Oak, 78. Lake Sarasota and Port Charlotte now at 78 degrees. Rotunda, you're at 76. So tomorrow looks to be really nice. We'll see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies at times. Temperatures will warm into the upper 70s to right around 81 degrees. That's well above the average. Our normal high for this time of year at 76. So that will be warmer than average. And then the extended forecast does call for warm weather to stick around through Wednesday. And then the transition day begins Thursday as the front approaches and really starts to move nearby on Friday. Now here it is. This is Monday at 11 o'clock. And then you can see it kind of spreading out to the south and east, and then as we move through time, again, that high pressure will shift off to the east. We will see the front approach the panhandle of Florida on Tuesday, and then a little low pressure will develop along it and then swing the whole cold front our way come Friday, bringing with it a pretty good chance for some rainfall too. Doesn't appear we'll see anything too severe with this. Some showers are possible. Not much of a chance for thunderstorms, but we could see a few. Snow falling now as far south as South Dakota and into Nebraska tonight in the northern end of Nebraska, also all the way over into Minnesota. That cold air going to be wrapping around that area of low pressure and just dropping southward over the upcoming days. And out west, not a lot going on. They need to dry out in Washington, Oregon, and things are fairly dry there right now. 82, though, warm in Dallas. It's warm all the way up into Chicago, 64 degrees right now. Toronto at 45, 56 in Cleveland. And you see that colder air in Minot, North Dakota at 22 degrees, Billings at 24. Highs tomorrow will stay in the 20s, 30s, and 40s over the northern Rockies and the northern Plain states. We'll still stay fairly warm here into the actually 70s in New Orleans and 81 in Sarasota. For boaters, it shapes up to be like this. Winds out of the east, switching around to the south at 5 to 10 knots. We'll have seas running 1 to 2 feet and a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now warming up, really 73 after this weekend. Was down to 71 just a couple days ago. Tides upcoming. The high tide will be 11:52 and a low tide at 8:32. And the forecast tonight mostly fair, mild 65 for your low. And tomorrow 80-degree high, and that's much warmer than average. The extended forecast, well, calling for showers to move in on Thursday, late Thursday, but better chances on Friday, and turning breezy and cooler with highs only in the 60s from Friday through Monday of next week. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Now to First Alert Traffic. We have reports of a crash on 19th Street at Snug Harbor Place. That's just east of US 301 in Sarasota. Otherwise, no major crashes to report, but typical slowdown areas during this drive time hour. Jacqueline?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, the upcoming flu season is expected to be especially bad here in the U.S., and a flu shot may not protect you from the virus. Flu season is ending in Australia, and experts say the vaccine was only 10% effective for Australians, and the same one will be used here in America. Researchers with the New England Journal of Medicine believe this year's vaccine may have been mismatched for the flu strains that ended up circulating, which makes the vaccines ineffective. Now, health experts say this calls for more research to develop universal flu vaccines, which would cover all strains of the virus and eliminate the need to get the shot annually. Well, you may be one of the growing number of Americans who have nomophobia. It's short for no mobile phone phobia, and it's the fear of not being able to use your cell phone or smart device. A new study released finds smartphone and internet addiction is harming to our minds, but you can save yourself before it's too late. Experts suggest turning off your smartphone at certain times every day, like when you're playing with your kids and when you're driving. Also, remove social media apps from your phone and don't bring your cell phone to bed. A Texas hospital says a baby boy born there is the first in the U.S. to be birthed from a mother who received a uterus transplant. Baylor University Medical Center announcing the birth over the weekend. It's unclear when the birth happened, and the child's family is requesting privacy at this time. However, the hospital says the mother received the transplant as part of a clinical trial to study new infertility treatment options for women who don't have a functioning uterus. The world's first baby born from a transplanted uterus happened in Sweden back in 2014. Well, coming up, a dog falls through thin ice in Canada, how rescue crews were able to get the pup out safely. And even pizza connoisseurs can't say they've done this, how astronauts on the International Space Station were able to get a pizza pie for movie night.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
So I never had closet systems before. Our designer, Bridget, was able to listen and ask the right questions, taking our ideas and making them happen. We were totally satisfied from beginning to end. I knew the California Closets would help me with every aspect of the design process, and they delivered 100%. My name is Teresa, and this is my California Closet story.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
A squirrel has been terrorizing a small town in New Jersey. Police were searching for the person or creature behind the vandalism of the town's Christmas display. The police department said it caught the squirrel in the act, posting photos on social media of it climbing on the display and trying to take a bite out of wires before running away. The rodent is still on the loose, but they say they will be on the lookout.
Well, watch as Canadian emergency crews rescue a dog that fell through thin ice. It all happened in a small town in Canada. And according to the fire chief, the dog's owners let it off its leash near the creek, and that's when the animal fell through the ice. Police and fire officials worked together to rescue the dog, which made it out safely. The chief posted the video to Facebook to spread the word about the dangers of thin ice, and it's been viewed over 100,000 times. Well, the giant panda is known to be a solitary animal, but they can be very self-amusing and self-entertaining in solitude, like this panda at a zoo in northeast China. Meet Fafa, the only male giant panda at the zoo, and he's always seen psyching himself up when nobody's looking.
Well, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's pizza in space. Astronauts on the International Space Station got to enjoy a quick pizza fix in zero gravity today. During a live stream event, astronaut Paolo Nespoli mentioned to his boss how much he missed pizza. So all the necessary ingredients were sent up to him and the crew. What came back was the video of the crew prepping pies for movie night. They weren't hot, messy, cheesy pizzas that we're used to here on Earth, but to these hungry and homesick astronauts, they were probably out of this world.
I'm sure they enjoyed that. Movie night and pizza, something we
too
all
bad.
love.
Look at that. You can float. It's got floating delivery.
There you go. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, Sarasota city leaders share their biggest concerns as climate change threatens our area in the future.
Plus, 2 people responsible for putting a skimmer in a gas pump caught on camera. Why police are still having trouble tracking them down.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month or a 2017 MKZ for $279 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today.
Call 800-457-2317.
Go online or visit a Target store today.